the wedding.
Oh, he's married. You
introduced
said
him.
that, yeah.
Here's the best.
Please welcome for the first time, Mr. and Mr.
I forget what I said because I introduced them. I just said everybody's favorite gay blades. I'm like, please welcome everybody's favorite gay blades because my Aunt Rue, she passed away at 100, but when she was like 98, she was living with my brother and his now husband. And it was never like my brother said to her, like, hey, we're gay.
She thought Liberace was straight.
Yeah, she doesn't know what gay. She thinks gay guys are just fun, happy dudes. So they're getting ready to go out in Boston. They're both dressed up, and she comes walking out of the living room, and she's got her newspaper, and she comes walking up, and she goes, oh, where are you two gay blades off to? And my brother said that Dave, his husband, just literally had to walk out of the room because he was dying laughing so hard.
And she meant it like happy fellows.
Gay blades.
Dandies.
Yeah, exactly. We're like back in the 50s, gay blade. Hey, it's a gay blade. It's a fun guy. You know what I mean? She never was like... So it was like a joke around.
What's your brother's husband's name?
Dave.
And your brother?
Adam.
So Adam and Dave are making out in the kitchen, and then your Aunt Rue comes in and goes, are you trying out each other's chapstick?
Yeah.
She's like, nothing can convince her that anything gay is happening.
Yeah, no.
They're blowing each other. She's like, are you cleaning it for him? That's a friend.
That's a friend.
That's a friend. What did you do to it that he has to clean it like that?
She would say it to me. She's like, Adam and his friend, they're so nice to me, and they get along so well. I'm like, yeah. When you're 98, you can't really, what's she going to...
Have you noticed this construction next door? It, rains sawdust all over my house.
Yeah, when I walked in, I told you I was walking through sawdust.
It's a little alarming when you have, a 1-year-old and you're pushing him around in a stroller and you realize he's inhaling,
Shouldn't there be some way that they have to, avoid that?
That should be a condemned house.
Girl, let's talk about it. Can't you get
Let's go find... Did the house
an
that
official?
Did the house get torn down that you lived in?
Yeah.
Because if not, we'll go get those cats. We'll slide them under the porch next door and just have them make babies all night like Puerto Ricans.
Yeah. What is this? This is going to be the Puerto Rican episode.
I guess. It just got stuck in my head.
You're 3 for 3, bro.
Funny.
3 for 3. You're batting...
Did you ever work construction?
No, painting houses, though. Did you work construction?
I never did.
Did you ever have a real job?
What? No. I'm Liza Minnelli. I was born into it.
Not like that. I mean, what were you, 19 when you were in SNL?
I was 23.
Oh.
Oh,
you weren't that successful then? Only 23 when you got on SNL, you fuck?
I was no prodigy or nothing. But I had my 21st birthday on the set of Camp Wilder at ABC. That was a sitcom with Jerry O'Connell, Hilary Swank,
Jesus.
Mary Page Keller, Jared Leto did a guest star. And if you want to take a photo, Jerry's going to come on the podcast. We'll break it all down. If you would have bet your potential income for the next 10 years that Hilary Swank would be to win fucking 2 Oscars.
Yeah,
Hilary Swank. That was pretty, and she deserved both of them. Don't get me wrong, but she was just this, sweet, dopey girl.
Are you saying that she was the dark horse in that whole group?
I would say so. I would have thought probably then, I would have been like, no, fuck that. I'll win before anybody. I'm going to play Chet Baker. I'm going to play George Carlin. I'm going to play the priest with a heart of gold that helps these kids straighten their lives out. Bring back those old Bing Crosby movies, and I'm going to win Oscars for them.
Or Mary Page.
We probably all would have put our money on Mary Page Keller. But yeah, no, Hilary Swank, 2 Oscars. But house painting isn't
Jerry O'Connell must have been the guy who was crushing it at that point already, right?
Yeah, but Jerry and his brother Charlie, they are uber fitness guys. They got manorexia.
Well, because he was a fat kid, right?
Yeah, I think that probably. Because I texted Jerry, and he goes, I want to come on the podcast. This is actually, I love this message he left me. He goes, I'm a huge fan of Fake Mustache Studios. And he was quoting stuff back to me he is a big fan. He's a big fan of The Feast, big fan of Jim and Eddie's, and he's just loves the whole network. And I go, great. He's like, what are you doing? I go, let me go. I got to go for my run. And he goes, where do you run? I go, I start at Will Rogers, lifeguard stand 8. And I go down to Patrick's Roadhouse and back. It's about 2.2 miles. I do.
They stop off at the KFC for a number 8.
Yeah, 2 number 8s. And then I go, it's about 30 minutes. And then he writes me back, 30 minutes is way too long for 2.2. I'm like, the fucking sand is deep, Jerry. I'm not running on cement some guy. I'm in this, balls deep in sand. It sucks. It's World War I out there.
Dude, I'm taking Normandy every morning.
And he goes, yeah, I've been doing sprints at Calabasas High. I go, really? We should talk about that. You can show me how to get that great manorexic body body you have. And he wrote back, ha ha. And then that was the end of our transmission, which probably made he's mad at me.
Yeah.
I doubt it. He's a great guy. And he's married. He's got a lot of babies. When are you going to make the babies?
I don't know.
Jay Larson, when are you going to make the babies?
I want to make babies, man. I want to crush babies.
Is she holding you up?
She's kind of just like,
Why don't you just force her down and take it?
You know what I mean? We'll see. Real quick on the fat kid, I had a buddy who was a fat kid, and he was fat, and he got in shape, and now he's the most diesel kid I know. And it was like freshman year in high school when he decided to turn it around. And every day he would bring one piece of Trident to school, and he would tear it in half, and he would eat half from first period to lunch, and then one from fifth period to eighth. You know what I mean? Like that was like how he maintained like not needing to eat and stuff. And every day I'd be like, "Yo, to George, man, let me get a half piece of that gum." He's like, "Fucking Lawson, you know I bring one piece every day. I eat half from 1 to 5, 5 to 8. Fucking don't try and fuck." You get like annoyed, like we get so mad.
I just can't believe you were allowed to chew gum in your school. I can't. I got stuck on that.
Really?
Oh, you can't chew gum in school.
Well, he probably
'Cause it winds
hid it
up
on
on
the
the
side.
locker. It winds up under
Everywhere,
the desks.
yeah. He would hide it. That was his thing. That's how he got through it.
So, what do you think made you get heavy? You were up to 245. That's like
First
that's
of
what Jimmy.
all-
Hold on, for real. And I'm not breaking your balls. I'm being serious. Like that's what Jimmy Snuka wrestled at. And you didn't look like
Dude,
Jimmy.
there are linebackers in the NFL that are 240.
Yeah, and you don't look like him.
No, I know. I honestly, I use it
Ray
as
Lewis, 245. Jay Larson, 245.
245.
Don't look anything alike. That's why that body mass index is bullshit. If you go like, hey, you're 5'10", when I was at my heaviest, 5'10", 210, and they go, yeah, that's bad. You're grossly overweight. I'm like, that's what Sean Green weighs.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's what Darrell Revis is 5'10", 210. I don't look like Darrell Revis. You can't have one scale for every body.
No way. No way.
Because right now you get the same body as Ray Lewis.
Yeah. Me and Ray.
You look
That
exactly
dude probably-
alike.
You know what, that guy probably crushes me on bench press? I'm
not so sure about that. We'll hit the Spectrum Club after this. We'll get it done, dude.
We'll see where we're at.
See, the trick is you got to bang out the incline. Lots of reps.
I got 225 for like a half.
What? When? Bullshit.
At the combine.
You're at at the combine.
I'm at the combine. Lawson up.
Lawson.
5'11", 240. 225 reps. Half. You got a half a rep.
5'11", 240 is like Lamont Jordan. That's one of those like load running backs. Like third down, we got an inch. Just send a load in to just move the pile forward. That was Larson. You're the load.
What's his face from New York? Or he's gone now.
No, but he's like 6'6". Brandon Jacobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 260, 6'6".
Beast.
So you can't bench 225.
No. Food's an addiction for me, man.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Why do
I
you
have
wait
5
an hour into the
addictions.
show to tell us this?
Because that's what we just got to. I got 5
Everyone
addictions.
just now looked at their pad data and went, so how long is it? 52 minutes. Everyone just looked down and went, I don't know, it's 52 minutes.
I got 5 addictions, bro. Cigarettes, weed, chicks, spending money, and food.
Do you want me to edit out the part where you said chicks? 'Cause
No,
you're
not
married?
at all.
What do you mean you're addicted to chicks?
I use...
Oh, baby chicks. You put them under the lights, they hatch, and now they live under your new porch in Altadena where you live.
Banging broads, bro. The three B's.
What are you fucking... You sound like Damone from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Banging
Banging
broads, bro. I got 2 downtown for Journey. One's an aisle seat.
You spent all that money on all that film. You don't even own a camera. No?
How come you are addicted to chicks and you're happily married and you're not a guy that cheats?
Yeah, and I don't smoke cigarettes anymore either. You know what I mean?
How long you been married?
A year and a half.
But I liked gals as much as the next guy. I don't think I was ever addicted to it. To me, it was more of I wanted to prove that I could get them because I never could get them prior to my ability to get them. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, a little bit.
I never could get them. And then you get into show business, you get a little swag, and now you can get them. So now you're playing catch up your whole life.
Yeah, I get that.
And Ed Burns, again, on the set of The Groomsman, because I had just met Nick, and I was like, whew, like it's over. Like they burnt the casino to the ground. There's no gambling. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
All your chips are ephemeral. Nothing exists. And I told him, like, I'm in love, and, like, I never felt this way. And he goes, you know what, Jay Mohr? Sometimes you get to a point you realize you could kind of fuck whoever you want. And then it ain't no fun no more. And I go, oh, yeah.
Well,
Said the guy married to Christy Turlington.
yeah,
He's like, I got Christy Turlington. Like, what am I going to go to the fucking Pig and Whistle and grab a 6 and see if I can close it?
I'm also going to take your mass body index and how it doesn't relate to everybody to you and Eddie Burns discussing how and when you can bang chicks and then refer that to everybody else as well.
Do it.
You know what I mean? It's incomparable.
But you're not addicted to chicks. Because you didn't have to like go, God.
Dude, I'm talking from 12, I would use chicks to feel better.
Right,
Same
but
reason
an
you smoke
addiction,
cigarettes
an
and
addiction
food.
isn't all right. But an addiction isn't something like cigarettes don't have to agree to be smoked.
Right. Good
A
point.
chick, you got to work. You got to work the angles. You got to tell them you're more interesting than you really are. You get them home. You got to keep them on the night. You really want to get out of there, but you got to figure out some type of scheme where they still. It's basically like having a pitching rotation in the bigs. You got your 4. You'll have a 5th dangling, and every once in a while, somebody comes up through the ranks.
And
a spot starter.
Yeah.
A spot starter.
Guys, 6-2 down at AAA Pawtucket.
And it'll always happen that you'll do a show, and all 4 will show up at once, and that's the death knell of that.
Yeah, you have it sometimes. I've had to handle that. I handled that back in the day. When I met my wife, that's when I sealed it off with a bunch I was like, hey, yeah, I can't, I'm out.
She was your Mariano Rivera. She came up through the system.
Yeah.
And you were like, John Wetland, you got to go.
Yeah, we built the system around her. She set up for one season, just like Mariana did. That was the first year they won it.
Was your wife part of a rotation?
No.
You don't have to answer this.
She wasn't. She honestly wasn't. When
So
I
you met your wife over.
When I met her, actually, I met her, and I was just in the mode of just like, I was on a rampage with chicks. And I was like, we kissed at a party. I'm like, let me get your number. And she's like, I just got out of a long relationship.
Rampage Larson.
Yeah. And she's like, I just did too. And I go, perfect. Let's keep it casual. And she's like, nah, I don't do that. That's not how I am. And I was like, all right. I go, if you ever want to find me, you know who my friends
slapped
are.
her in the face. So that's how I do, except
That's
from the
it.
50s,
Yeah.
you gay blade.
Fucking take that. Yeah.
I'm from the 50s, you gay blade. Slap. Act right.
Yeah. Know where you're
Don't be an hysteric.
in the
She's having one of her spells again. She's an hysteric. Just give her a good slap. So then when did you start dating?
Well, then 6 months later, she called my friend and she's like, yo, I want that. Tell that guy that I met that I want him to call me.
Real quick, how much ass did you crush in that 6 months?
A lot. I mean, a lot.
So you weren't heavy then?
No, I was in good shape. I was weighing in around like 200 maybe.
And what was your move then? Just like, hey, I'm doing comedy. Come see my show. Look how funny I am. Suck it.
What? Back
I'm
with
not laughing
chicks
at all.
in general. Yeah. I mean, comedy was always like a good way. But like with my wife, that wasn't like the angle at all. It was just like, oh, let's just get to know each other. And I mean, bro.
And you had a similar thing as me. Like when you met your wife, just the iron door came down, the city walls, the iron curtain, the southern. It's just over.
The day my buddy called and said, you remember that girl Kate from the pool party? I'm like, yeah. He goes, she wants to go out with you. I'm like, boom.
Such a Boston thing to say.
I called 4
pool
girls
party.
and I was like, hey,
pool
I'm
party.
out.
Jay, if you want to get successful in Hollywood, you got to have pool parties.
You got to have them all the time.
Dean Martin and Rowan, they all had pool parties. Carson had pool parties. What is that? Like, it is kind of a phenomenon. Like, a guy like you, my reputation far exceeded my conquests. My wife told me I was known as Jay Whore.
Really?
And I'm like, if you knew how many times I was in a hotel room in Phoenix jerking off at watching SportsCenter, like jerking off the highlights.
Dude.
Like, Ramiro Mendoza goes 7 for the...
My buddy saved a voicemail that I left him one time from Miami, and it was just me, and I was like, what's up, bro? I'm sitting on my balcony in Miami. I'm drinking a bottle of champagne and smoking cigarettes. I posted an ad on Craigslist that said, hey, single dude in town looking to have some fun. Who's down? And the only reply I got was from one dude, and he wrote back, hey, man, just another straight guy. You want to just get together and jerk off together? And I just was like, that's where my life's at, bro. Call you later.
You should have had that guy come over. I swear to God. Because, look, we're showbiz people.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was in the green room at Caroline's, and we were talking about, and I'm not going to say any names out of respect, because I think after the courts and everything took their... It'll be easy to figure out who I'm talking about. After the courts and everything and time went by and everything fell into place, in hindsight you go, yeah, I guess he or she didn't do that with that child. But there was a comedian that we know of that was accused of doing
I have someone in my head. I'm not
untoward, well, but just don't say it on the mic. Untoward things towards children, maybe even he or her own children.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were sitting in a green room. And we were like, do you think she did it? Do you think he did it? Do you think this? And Chris Rock goes, oh, I know it. And we were like, well, how could you be so... Really? Like, did that person tell you? And he goes, look, man, we're in show business. We got to take shit to the next level. We smoked it, sucked it, fucked it, snorted it. If you catch me in bed with a 5-year-old, I'm fucking him. It's like that was his take on the whole situation. Like, look, man, let's not bullshit each other. We're showbiz people.
Yeah, man.
Like the reason we're here is because we have a fucking hole in our insides that needs to be filled.
Yeah. We want to tell a story, so we'll go through with something just to tell that story.
Right, but I think history has shown that this person had a separate problem and then got piled on.
Cool.
People are going to tweet